So we'll be starting with the next unit now, that is wastewater engineering. So this comes under the category of environmental engineering, part 2. So deals with part 1 deals with water supply engineering, okay? Or we can say it deals about the drinking water supply. Now this part 2, it deals with the wastewater, that is wastewater engineering. So to get a basic idea about this, we have seen that if you watch the previous videos of water supply engineering, so the main point, or from the source from where the raw water is taken, so the first point in the process is the source, and the examples of source are rivers, lakes, ponds, reservoirs. Okay, so from these lakes or source, the water is taken to the water treatment plant. So it has come to the water treatment plant now. Now whatever the impurities are there, the impurities are taken out from the water treatment plant. Now after the treatment of water, it is supplied, or we can say it is distributed to the community. Okay, so distributed it is distributed to the community. So this is the distribution phase. Now after the distribution of water, so this water is used by the community people, maybe for domestic purposes or for industrial purposes. So if I say that we are giving 100% of the water to the community, then this 100% of the water is not consumed by the community. Okay, some of it is consumed and most of it comes as a waste. So to understand this, you can take the example of bathing. Okay, so if you are taking a bath, then is that water getting consumed? No, that water, some percentage of water is only getting consumed, or we can say it is due to the heat effect and all, it is getting consumed in the air, but remaining most of the percentage of water, it goes into the wastewater. Okay, so in the similar way, in the kitchens also, you can just imagine, while washing the utensils, the water is getting converted into the wastewater. So most of the, or we can say the maximum percentage of water which we are transferring it to the community, it is getting converted into wastewater. So after this distribution, after the utilization, the remaining percentage, it gets converted into wastewater. Okay, so next phase is the generation of wastewater. Now what we have to do, once the wastewater is generated, this wastewater we have to collect it. So the first part is collection. Okay, after collection, we have to convey it to the wastewater treatment plant. So we have seen this water treatment plant. Now for treating this wastewater, there is one more plant that we are going to study, that is called as wastewater treatment plant. So after the collection and conveyance, that means transfer of water, this wastewater, it is then taken to the wastewater treatment plant. It is taken to the wastewater treatment plant. Wastewater treatment plant. Now after this treatment of water, so in this wastewater treatment plant, what will happen? So there will be certain treatment will be given to the original wastewater, and after giving the treatment, the last process will be the disposal of water, or disposal of wastewater. So generally this disposal is done in the rivers or lakes or oceans. Okay, so we will see that various methods of disposal of water. So if you see overall, the loop continues. So first we take the water from the source, then we do the water treatment. After the treatment of water, it is taken by the community. Let's say if 100% of the water is taken by the community, then around 70 to 80 percentage of water, it gets converted into wastewater. Now this wastewater is collected, and this collection is done by sewerage system. So these are the new terms now, but try to get accompanied with this. We'll be discussing in the next video about this. So once the water is collected, it is treated, then distributed, and this wastewater is generated now 70 to 80%. Now this wastewater is collected and conveyed by using a system which is called as sewerage system. Now this sewerage system takes the wastewater to the water treatment plant or wastewater treatment plant, and after the treatment of water, it is disposed to the back to the sources of water. So this is the overall process. Now in this video we are going to see two new concepts. The first one is called as sewage. Okay, so you may have heard the word sewage now. So what is the meaning of this sewage? So the sewage consists of all forms of liquid waste which is generated by community. So all forms of liquid waste generated by community. Okay, so it includes domestic wastewater, domestic wastewater, then industrial wastewater, and the last is storm water. Now the first two are self-explanatory because the domestic and industrial, the wastewater which is generated from domestic and industrial. Now what is the meaning of the storm water? So during the rainy season or when there are heavy rains, you can see the lot amount of water is getting filled on the roads. Okay, so that water is then taken to the adjacent drains. So that water is called as storm water. Okay, so this also comes under the heading of sewage. Now the next important definition is sullage. So those who know Marathi, so you can just see the names. See, it is given here Shivage. Okay, so the first two words you can just relate it. So if you have got this, you can mention it in the comment. Okay, so what is the meaning of sullage? So sullage is nothing but it is a less offensive liquid waste produced by community produced by community. Now what are the examples? So it includes wastewater generated from kitchen basins then wash basin, bathrooms, etc. Okay, so this is the main difference between sewage and sullage. See, sewage consists of all the liquid forms. Okay, so it consists of sullage also, but however sullage, this name is given to only the liquid waste or the wastewater which is generated from kitchen basins or wash basins. So these liquids are generally less offensive as compared to the sewage. Now let's go to the next definition, that is what is sewers. Okay, so sewers, they are nothing but they are the conduits. So we have discussed what is the meaning of conduit. Conduit is nothing but it is a pipe arrangement. So it may be circular or any shape. We'll be seeing these types of sewers in the subsequent videos. So the pipes which are using for the transportation of sewage, that pipes are called as sewers. So write down. So sewers are conduits carrying conduits carrying sewage. And what is the meaning of conduits? What are the types of conduits we have discussed? So there is pressure conduit, and the second one you can name in the comment box. Okay. Now this is about sewers. Now there are the last two definitions, and these are very important. The first is dry weather flow. Dry weather flow. So it is called as DWF. Now, so domestic and industrial wastewater together from community, it is called as dry weather flow. So domestic and industrial wastewater and domestic and industrial wastewater together from community is called is called dry weather flow. Is called dry weather flow. So whatever the amount of water is supplied in the water supply engineering to the community through the water supply to the community, so 70 to 80 percentage gets converted into the dry weather flow. So 70 to 80 percentage 70 to 80 percentage of water supply gets converted into dry weather flow. Now the last definition, it is wet weather flow. So this wet weather flow is nothing but whatever the water is generated or whatever the wastewater is generated due to the heavy rains or due to the storms. Okay, so the storms, or we can say the storm water resulting from a community is called as wet weather flow. Is called as wet weather flow. So these are the various definitions that we have seen about this wastewater engineering. So these are the basic definition, like what is sewage, sludge, what is dry weather flow, and what is wet weather flow. Now we'll be seeing the next topic, that is methods of collection and disposal of sewage. So methods of sewage collection and disposal. So there are two main methods. So the first one is called as a dry method or a dry system. So this system is banned now. It is banned due to its unhygienic conditions which are taken in the system. So what is done in this system is that whatever the wastewater is there, it is collected and it is openly transported or transferred from one place to another place. So as it is kept in a dry condition, or we can say an open condition, hence this is very unhygienic and very hazardous to the nearby environment. Hence this is banned by the government and we are not using it nowadays, but in initial days this was used. So what we are using right now, we are using water carriage system. So as the name suggests, whatever the wastewater is there, it is transferred with the help of a medium, and that medium is water. So in this system, water is used as a medium. Water is used as a medium to convey sewage. to convey the sewage. So as water is required, hence we have to design it properly. Hence it requires well designed sewerage system. Well designed sewerage system. So this sewerage system we have seen, it is nothing but it is a network of sewers. So if you want to write it down, so this sewerage system means it is network of sewers, okay, used in collection and conveyance. So this is the meaning of sewerage system. Now what are the various types of sewerage system? So that will be the next topic, is types of sewerage systems. Okay, so the first type, it is called as combined system. Combined system. So what happens in the combined system? So there is only one sewer which collects both dry weather flow and wet weather flow and community. So there is only one sewer. There is only one sewer which collects both dry weather flow and wet weather flow. So we have seen what is dry weather flow and wet weather flow. Okay. So dry weather flow is the wastewater which is generated from the community, and wet weather flow is the storm water which is resulting from the community. So if we prepare or if we design a sewerage system having only one sewer which collects both dry weather and wet weather flow, then such system is called as combined system. So this system is suitable. This system is suitable where there are average rains. There are average rains. Now second system is called as separate system. Now as the name suggests, there are two sewers. Okay, so there are two sewers. This sewer means you can just imagine it as a pipes. Okay, so big pipes are there. So these big pipes, inside these big pipes there is the sewage or this wastewater which is getting transported from one place to another place. So in this case there are two sewers, one for dry weather flow and other for wet weather flow. Okay, now this system is suitable only where the rainfall is higher. Okay, because if the rainfall is not higher, then this second sewer that is taking the wastewater, so that is taking the wet water, it will remain ideal and there will be no use of designing it. So it is applicable, or this system is suitable where there are heavy rainfall. So you can take the example here as Mumbai. So in the first case you can take the example of Chennai. Now the last one is called as partially separate and partially combined sewerage system. Partially separate and partially combined system. So in this case, under normal conditions, under normal conditions, so this system acts as separate sewer. Okay, under normal condition, this system acts as separate sewers. Okay, under heavy rainfall condition, under heavy rainfall conditions, stormwater is added to the stormwater is added to dry weather flow. Hence it becomes hence it becomes hence it becomes a combined sewer. So this type of system is used in cities like Bengaluru. So this is all about the types of sewerage system. We have discussed all the basic points from the wastewater engineering. Now from the next video, we'll see how to calculate this dry weather flow and how to calculate this wet weather flow, because these two parameters are responsible for designing of the sewers. Okay, so the remaining things we'll see in the next video.